Let's see. Let's make sure that we are live on Instagram as well. Yeah, baby. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, folks, what's going on? It is another day, another episode of the Tipping Point Morning Show. And guess what? We are live right here on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Instagram as well. You can go to the Tipping Point Morning Show on Instagram, and you can check us out there as well, live and in charge there also. This is your number one Saturday morning live podcast show right here. It's the Tipping Point Morning Show. You ready to get it, John?
Man, I am ready. Let's get it on.
Hey, let's go.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
Oh man. Brother, what is going on with you this week? How's business?
Business is awesome, man. As always, it's all about the attitude and what you think of yourself in your business. But business is awesome. Despite all the gas and all the prices that are up, hey, listen. Woo! Yeah, business is awesome.
I seen Cali, they out there with $9.
Yeah, and people have to adjust, but in business, it's the greatest opportunity to jump in and start a business or really invest in. Like I give you an example. Amazon. Well, we talked about Amazon splitting stocks. Well, it went from $2,000 to $120, right? Get your sunrise down and just let it ride, because Amazon stocks will go back up. So, this is the time to take advantage of these things that look kind of dim. That's when you get in and really take advantage of some things.
Yeah, man. It's it was like 28 and some change, 2,800, I think is what it was, bro. $122 right about now. Folks, go out and get you some. Because even if it goes up to half of what it was before at around 1,500, then guess what? That is a beautiful, beautiful thousandfold game right there. So go ahead and make that shmoney. Get it while you can. It is what it is, right? So, man, it's a beautiful day outside. We got some beautiful weather. I hope everybody across the nation out there, because we are a national and even worldwide show. So I hope everybody across the world is having some beautiful weather just like ourselves. Great rise, Phyllis Myers. Yes, I am coming to see you soon to get that work in and get that tune up there as well, y'all. I'm gonna tell you something, man. She does something phenomenal. I kind of studied up a little bit on what that was that she does, and she does some amazing things for a tune-up on the body. So y'all need to check that out as well, brother. We still having some crazy stuff going on when it comes to this whole mass shooting thing. It seems like it's almost like it's every day now, and I really don't jump into it, don't dwell into it, but it seems like it's every day. Is it energy in the air? Here's the thing I want to ask you. How could you tell people real quick? All right, because I know people go through things. We all go through stuff, right? In our personal and what have you, right? So we get out of character sometimes, but we want to step back. I think it's more about the ability to get yourself back in alignment with the universe, right? How do people do that?
Well, the first thing you do is basically recognize your presence. So, something's going on in other cities. You got shootings. what's your present like? How's your present? Is anybody shooting you? Are you running? Are you starving? You got food in the icebox? See, we're so busy worried about other people's shit. That's over there. That's not right here. So why should I take my emotions and put it over there? Let me give you an example. I don't care if you call this word God, the universe, Jesus, or whatever. If it is not emotionally concerned about what's going on, why should you be? And I'm not saying, oh, don't care. What I'm telling you is that if you haven't complete your focus on yourself, you have just found another distraction of the reason why you can't finish your focus on yourself. So that's over there. What you need to really look at, what is happening with you right now. Just turn the TV off. Stop scrolling down internet or on Facebook and looking at the worst of the things, and just stop and say, how am I doing? Just say, how am I doing right now? Did I just take another breath? Did I just do that? That I'm fucking fine. But if something over there makes you fear that it may happen over here, then you're too distracted. Hey, the biggest thing is the distraction. I stay focused too much to allow that to interfere with what I'm trying to achieve. And that's what it's for. Listen, it's not like, okay, you may have a shooting a day, but how many millions of people are in this country or in the world? Is it really going on in your space? You go to Kroger, is anybody shooting at you? You know, but if you keep thinking that it will happen, then maybe you might draw it into your own dimension. It may happen. But if you're not thinking about that, it's not happening in your space. And I tell everyone, stay focused. And if you're not focused, if you are into what they're doing over there, that's probably why you haven't achieved much in your own space.
And you know, and that's the thing, man, is achieving much. You know, there's a lot of people that are just stagnant and they just sit around and it's work and play. That's all they do. They not trying to build nothing. Not trying to create nothing, not trying to leave a legacy or anything. And I feel bad for people like that, because there's, you know, again, you die, what's left? Okay, you got a child, but what did you leave that child? You know, what all did you really leave as a legacy for yourself, your family, to say, hey, she did that, man. So I'm in total agreement with you. And remember, you know, what John just said. He said, breathe, and you're fucking fine. All right. Now, this is men's health month as well, because it is Father's Day month. So we're gonna call it Men's Health Month. So again, fellas, make sure you're eating healthy so that you are also fucking fine. All right. So good stuff there. Keep the watermelon going, fellas. But y'all will get that joke later. Right now, folks, it is the crypto wrap up with one of our most special, beloved from the Bitcoin campus organization family. This is I'm not gonna lie, you know, we try not to talk about favorites, but I'm just gonna be straight up. This is my favorite brother from another mother at the Bitcoin campus, brother Crypto Kenny family. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm always doing good, especially after your introductions. You know, doesn't matter how I feel. I actually was up really late, so I got up like maybe 15 minutes ago. But after those intros, I'm ready to come on and share some information with you guys. So love the show, love the topics. You know, love both of you gentlemen. You guys have been an inspiration in my life, and just being connected to you guys, you know, I feel like I'm, you know, bringing more value to the marketplace, and, you know, and being able to inspire a lot more people. Just regarding some of the things that you guys are saying, you know, I think the mental health aspect of it, what you pay attention to, is, you know, just like Brother John was saying, I mean, that's so important. Like he's saying, if you know, shootings are happening on TV and you're seeing it, you know, you can't let that bring you down, because it's not necessarily happening to you. You know, and I used to do that. You know, I got really caught up in what was happening to, you know, Black and brown people all across the United States with police brutality. And it started changing me. It started, you know, having me angry all the time and ready to, you know, be, you know, aggressive towards an officer for anything. And then as I held on to that aggression for a couple of years, and I felt like I was protecting myself. But as I get older, I realized, you know, when I look back, it's not necessary. because, those specific things are not happening to me. But because of my response to what I'm seeing in the media, I'm allowing it to happen. Because I'm putting myself in a position where I'm responding to something, that's not necessarily the case. It's just like if you, are watching a movie about a woman cheating all the time, and the next thing you know, you go back to your wife, and now you're second guessing everything she says to you.
Yeah.
That could hurt your relationship, but it has a lot to do with, what type of things that you're bringing in, what you're allowing, your mental space to bring in. So everybody has to protect their mental space, what they give their energy to.
Right.
Because whatever you give your energy to, your brain and your life, everything is going to move towards that. And, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I have my days, I have my days where, mentally I'm off. I have to, get back into personal development. I got to get closer to God, when those days happen. But, also have a good support system, make sure that the people around you are encouraging you to be the best version of yourself, and always remind you that, what you're doing is the right thing. So if you don't have that support system, that could be a little tough as well. And, I'm fortunate enough, being in business, I've designed my life to have the right support system around me. So when I'm going through my tough times, which, I think it's okay for me to say, I talk to the right people.
That's right.
But specifically going with crypto, had a couple of things I wanted to share with you guys now, because crypto is all over the place. The market's been down, it's been very volatile. There's not a lot of energy with it. Even though now is a good time, and I know you guys have spoken to Crypto Cliff, he's a big investor, a big hodler. Those types of individuals, they look at these opportunities as like Black Friday, all you can eat buffet. Yeah, it's a huge sale. And, that could be because, when you're in a position where you have a little bit of money that you're sitting on, you can start buying things for discounts. Sometimes people don't even have the money to even invest. So it's hard for them to even look at something being a sale. Like if I don't have $100 and you want to sell me Jordans for $50, I know it's a sale, but that's still going to leave me with only $50 to myself if I buy those sneakers, which I may not necessarily feel that I need. Right. So the psychology of everything, I don't want to compare crypto to Jordans, because that's kind of like going backwards. I think crypto is an investment. Jordans is more, is just a materialistic thing. Right. So I don't want to compare those two. I'm just giving you an idea of just the comparison with finances and personal obligations. But when it comes to crypto, it's very important that everybody understands crypto. We live in a society where the government is constantly manipulating the average person. If anybody tells you that the government does not manipulate society, they're on drugs.
Right.
From COVID to, gas prices to inflation to all of these things. I mean, it's hard for me to say that that is definitely real. If you guys really study the news, there's a lot of, big companies getting shut down because of the gas prices. When it comes to trucking, there are people in the food industry whose warehouses are getting burnt down. So, there's a lot of these things that are happening in society, and you're starting to think to yourself, like, what is going on? Why is it all happening at once? And usually when those things happen, I would hate to call those coincidences, for my own sanity, I'm not going to. So there's a huge part of government manipulation that happens in society. And for Black and brown people, we know that all too well, right? Even if you look at the level of wealth obtained by just the different races in the United States, Black and brown people end up being at the bottom. So when you look at all of those things, it's designed that way. It's designed for the Black family to be split up. It's designed for Black people to, well, it was, and now we're making a strong push because we've had incredible leaders throughout the past few years. But society had engraved it in its fabric that Black and brown people were going to be at the bottom. The reason why I bring these things up is because when I look at crypto, me personally, I'm off the grid. I've circulated in the last year or 2 years over 100,000 through crypto, paying my web development team, paying other people, paying people in Bitcoin Campus, getting money. I've made over 100,000 and circulated over 100,000 without the government's watch. And I think that's important to kind of focus, because some people may look at me and they say, you know, well, Ken, you're not trading. You know, what is your main thing? My main thing is being off the grid. You know, my entire, you know, I get paid in crypto. My clients pay me in crypto. I pay my members in crypto. When it's time for me to pay a bill, maybe I transfer it to my bank account and then pay that bill. But other than that, if you look at just my bank account, you'd be confused as to how I live my life. And crypto has allowed me to do that. And it's not an easy thing, but it's a possible thing. So with crypto, I would recommend everybody learn how to send and receive crypto from their wallet. Understand what centralization is compared to decentralization. You know, centralization gets you taxed. Decentralization, you know, you're still invisible. So here's what I mean by that. In a centralized system, I could put money through the bank, let's say 10 grand through the bank, or spend 10,000. And then, you know, Uncle Sam sees that transaction and it gets put onto my taxes, whether I got to pay taxes, whether I got to write them off, you know, whatever the case may be. Uncle Sam is like, oh, Ken made a $10,000 transaction. He should report this to me, you know, so the IRS gives you that leeway at the end to, you know, write off your taxes. You know, some people get audited, some people don't. But if you guys understand the entire system of tracking, that's what the government wants you to do. It wants to be on top of every single thing that you're doing. It's more evident in society right now than ever. The government is tracking everything. They're tracking your phone. They're tracking your views on the internet. They're tracking what you're spending. This is valuable information for them to manipulate you and to attack your subconscious. If you're off the grid, it leaves you, you know, a little bit of space to kind of have your own freedom. So for me, you know, when I think about crypto, I think about the fact that, you know, I circulated, you know, 6 figures or more, and the government doesn't even know, because they're coming from decentralized apps that you can download, receive crypto in it, and they're not asking you for any verification. They don't want to know your name, social security number, where you live. You just download the app, get the wallet, and then circulate money. So that happens a lot in crypto. There are people that have made millions of dollars in crypto, and they're doing it in a decentralized way where Uncle Sam can't really know what you've done. So, for instance, if I wanted to send Joe $20,000 and I did it from like, let's take an app like Clever Wallet, right? Klever. And Joe has another wallet that's decentralized, like a Tron Link or something like that. I'm not sure if Trust Wallet asks for particular information. There's a lot of wallets out there that you can use to get crypto, right? But if I sent him $10,000 and from Clever, and he receives it in another wallet, there's no taxes on that. There's no IRS scan on that. It could be as simple as me losing $10,000. In crypto, you send money from a wallet that's decentralized. It's only verified on the blockchain, but nobody can prove that it was definitely you that did it, because there is no social or KYC.
Blockchain is all about anonymity, right?
That's the design of it, to be anonymous. So there's a lot of people out there that's saying, look, I don't want to study crypto. I don't want to know crypto. It's not for me. It's too complicated. Yeah, it could be a little complicated, but the more that you understand a complicated system, the more you're going to feel comfortable in it. And we're going towards that. It's not even to say, I mean, society, all of the things right now in society are moving towards a digital society and a digital currency. The value of the dollar is going down. You know, you have all of these situations right now where people are being more self-sufficient. You know, the purpose of the NFT industry is to give more power back to people in terms of their brand and what they can offer. You may not see that right now because NFTs are very complicated to maybe discuss, but it's equivalent to like when a musician is under a label and that label is responsible for promoting that artist, paying for everything, and that artist doesn't have that much power, right? And what happened? YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, all these other mechanisms, right, allowed the artist to be more independent and to get more money on their own. That's kind of like what NFTs are to people. They're able to create their own movement, their own utility, and their own brand, and selling things that comes directly to them, not a corporation that's signed them.
Bro, you are speaking some amazing stuff, some absolutely amazing truth. Do this real quick before you jump off, all right? Because I got Leonard Walker coming on with some stock tips, and then we got our main guest Kari Muhammad coming on as well. But tell us the difference between crypto investing and crypto utilization.
Okay. Crypto investing is more about reading the market and trying to accumulate as many tokens as possible while the market is down. So that you probably want to study dollar cost averaging, because you want to make, it's just like playing Monopoly. When you first roll the dice in Monopoly, you're just trying to buy all the property as possible at the cheapest price point before any houses or anything goes on there. You have all those properties, you accumulate all of that, then you can start negotiating, to get houses. And I'm trying to give a parallel, right? But as far as investing is more so putting yourself in position while the market's down to reap the benefits when it comes up. So if you can just think about it. If you could buy Bitcoin at $2 and you spend $10, you're going to get 5 Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. So if Bitcoin goes to $20, that 5, your money doubles, right? In that comparison. And if it keeps going lower, the more you buy, the more you can get it for cheaper, and you can get a larger amount. Whereas if Bitcoin is $20 and you spend, what is it? What did I say? $10 or $20 before? I said $10 before. Bitcoin is $20, and then you spend $10 now, you're only getting half a Bitcoin. As before, when Bitcoin was $2, you spent $10, you got 5 of them. Mm-hmm. You understand that mathematical equation I just gave? So if you understand that goes hand in hand with investing. You want to buy as many tokens and currency when it's low. And if you're holding on to it, you want to just be in a position where you can say, look, I have X amount of whatever, Cardano, X amount of, whatever, XRP, whatever crypto you're accumulating, you want to buy it when it's low, so that, because you already know that is going to go back up. So you have to look at all-time highs. If you see a coin like, and I'll say this, my favorite coin is Anchor, ANKR. When I got involved, it was 8 cents. I seen it go all the way to 18 cents. The market struggling is down to 3 cents right now. For me, I feel like that's a good thing, because I could buy Anchor, a bunch of it, feeling that one day is going to surpass 18 cents. The market already showed me it went to 18 cents. I truly believe the market will readjust and Anchor will eventually go over 18 cents, just like Bitcoin. So Bitcoin went to...
When you talk utilization, then, as far as the difference, then, where are you going? Is that the
okay, so to go to utility now, utility is just the function of something, or what it does, or what it's supposed to do, or what it's designed to do. So utility is almost like, it gives it a specific meaning. I'll give you an example. If something was called Pizza Coin and its utility was you can use Pizza Coin at any pizzeria in the United States. You understand what I'm saying? Every pizzeria accepts Pizza Coin. So that could be something called like a utility. It has its specific purpose. So somebody will say, I'm going to invest in Pizza Coin because I eat a lot of pizza, and I want to have that money available whenever I want to get pizza. So they're more focused on maybe, when it comes to utility, it has to be something that you are into. You got to be following that utility to see that it makes sense to you as far as the function, because all utilities are not the same. There are utilities out there I'm gonna try and talk, because when it comes to utility has two meanings in this equation. It could be a meaning for an NFT, and it could be a meaning for a token. So I'm gonna try and stay with the token side of things to not confuse people, because the NFT side can be a little bit more confusing. But when it comes to tokens will function. The utilities of tokens, they function towards industries and the technology behind something. Crypto is all about technology and being the first to do something. So the utility could just be the programming that the developers are doing to make it work in a certain area, and they're first to do it. So look at Ethereum. Ethereum's utility is the fact that it has its own blockchain, and you can get other programmers to develop into Ethereum, right, from a programming standpoint, but you can't do that with Bitcoin, because nobody knows Bitcoin. Nobody knows who made Bitcoin, but the people know Ethereum's programmers. So Ethereum's utility could be the fact that you could make a decentralized app programmed through Ethereum's blockchain. So that's why Ethereum is so powerful, because all these web developers can go to Ethereum and say, look, I want to use your token to move I want my token to go through your blockchain. And they can make that. Any web developer can make their own token and have it run through another blockchain. That's why you have Ethereum, you have Polygon, you got BNB, these other blockchains that are out there. They have created their own computerized verification process. Now, I know these conversations can kind of get a little bit weird. You asked me a very interesting question in terms of the difference between investing and utility. It's a hard question to just answer in a simple way, because it's they kind of go hand in hand, but you would need to know why utility is important.
Well, I mean, I think the basic thing, as we're looking at it, is basically, again, if I like, watermelons, and there's a company out there that makes watermelons, and I love watermelons, maybe I'm gonna go and I'm gonna research that company. And when you're talking about the crypto space, then if there is a coin out there that is tied to a company that's going to focus on taking their profits to make more watermelons, make more seeded watermelons, right? Then, I might say, hey, I want to invest in that. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna buy this coin so I could be part of the investment on the other side of this coin, which is the utility, which is the fact that they're going to be making more seeded watermelons. So cool. I'm a rock with that. And I get that, and I get that, and I love it. And bro, when you come to the table, you always bring some fire to the table from the crypto space, folks. Again, y'all go and you check out the tippingpointshow.com, and you click on partners, and you will see one of our partners is the bitcoincampus.org. You click that, you can become a part of the Bitcoin Campus community, and it's every day. There's Zooms and Telegram posts, conversations. The Telegram is not they didn't shut it down to where you can't ask questions anytime you want. No, you can ask questions on there. I know a lot of Telegrams where you can't ask questions or nothing like that. This one you can. Folks, make sure you check it out. This has been another episode of the Crypto Wrapped Up with Brother Crypto Kenny, once again in the space with the Tipping Point Morning Show. Brother, we will see you next week. We're going to have to do a longer, hour-long show with you, family, and have you on and do some more talking about this. All right, bro?
Just keep me posted. I love you guys. Keep being great to the community. And I'm always here. Just reach out to me when you're ready.
All right, family. We appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. All right.
And mind blown. Boom! Right there, folks. I tell you what, that's a lot of heat right there coming from the crypto space. But here, we're going to drop some more heat on you real quick before our main event with Brother Kari Muhammad. Folks, it's right now. Brother Leonard Walker, who is another brother from another mother. Family, how are you doing?
I'm good. I have, once again, I've got children I'm dealing with this weekend, trying to be a good man figure in their lives.
That's what's
So
up.
I got my grandson, and I got my nephew. So you know how kids are. So right now I got them upstairs doing their thing. So, but anyway, just right quick, I think what I was trying to get at is what, in layman's terms, what most people don't understand about crypto. Just right quick, just if Kenny can correct me, later, or if he wants to drop something. I think what the fear that most people have, they don't understand it. Well, not understanding it means you don't really understand the function of money and currency. Back in earlier days, before there were banks, okay, or treasuries, people handled their own, business, goods and services on their own between each person, right? So if you had gold, if you had diamonds, you had rubies, you had goats and sheep or whatever, all right, and you needed some goods and services, you handled that between another individual, okay, yourself. So that's what crypto does, as far as, like you said, being off the grid. You can't, you're getting goods and services. What you're doing effectively is replacing the government's currency with a currency that the government doesn't know about, that you only know about between you and whomever, right? And you're getting goods and services for that. That's what I meant by kind of like utilization. Investing, crypto is kind of turned into the next Forex. So people, just basically, if you have things, let's say you buy something for a fraction of a penny, all right, a Satoshi, okay. The key is if you have a million, let's say you got a million coins, okay, there's some stuff out there you can buy. You can buy a million coins for less than $100, right? If that moves to $1, you just earn $10,000. Oh, I'm sorry, move to a penny, it earns $10,000 per penny, okay? And people say, wow, 1 cent, I got a million of these, that's $10,000. Hey, I got a dime, now I got 100,000. See, so I think that's kind of, how people, the light bulb, that's how the light bulb came off in my head. See, so, but anyway, let me jump on these stocks right quick. I think last week we were talking about some dividend stocks.
Yes.
And dividend investing. Like I said, as I'm retired, for me, what's important is cash flow. So I want dividends. If I'm gonna tie my money up with a company or whatever, or a stock, I want to get paid for it, something. All right, because you have growth stocks where, just like you talked about Apple right now is going for 109. So people, if they missed out on the 124, like I said, it went to a surge and they said it was going to drop in a couple of days. So if you are a growth investor, this is a good time to get you some Apple. Like I said, it's 109 and it may fall a little bit more. So like I said, the market right now, and Brother Kenny was right, market all around is very volatile. You got some stocks that are up, a lot of stocks are down. Tech stocks are taking a beating. You hear, if you are into any type of financial news, you hear about all of the tech companies, layoffs and all that kind of stuff. So that's driving the stock down. That is not a bad thing for the beginner or average investor, or for the middle class American trying to break into something, because as the market goes down, stocks become more affordable. So let me just right quick give I've got about 5 common stocks that for the beginner, if you want to get into this, something to start with that pays a decent dividend, okay, and you can look at the strategy of that.
Get your pens and paper out, folks. Y'all heard that? 5 common stocks. It's coming right now.
5. Okay, so starting with number 1. Okay, number 1 common stock, and some of the thought behind all of this stuff is, the things that I use or the companies that I give my money to, can I invest in these companies? Well, like you got a cell phone. Hey, if you're on Verizon, my number 1 is Verizon. Okay. Verizon is under $100 a share. It's about $50.82 when I looked at it, but it pays about a little bit over $2.50 dividend per year. And it gives it per year, which gives you 64 cents a share per quarter. Okay. Why do I like Verizon? Verizon has paid over 60 cents a share per quarter since 2018, and over 50 cents a share per quarter since 2013. So it's pretty stable. It has growth. Okay. And this is one of these things, I'm talking cents and all of that. A lot of people say, well, that's not a whole lot of money. This game is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So this is why I say the younger you get started at this, or even if you in your 50s like me, all right, the younger you get started at this, the better off you'll be in the long run, because now you'll be able to get residual passive income, in your 40s and 50s. Now you don't have to, you don't like that job. Say, man, I'm getting about $4,000 or $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month off of this right here. Hey, you know what? Later for this job, I can go ahead and live off my passive income, or you can use that passive income to go on vacations, to buy other stuff to do, or to reinvest, whatever you want to do. See, so all right, so that's number one. Number two is that I have on this list is what's considered a REIT. A REIT, REIT, stands for real estate. It stands for real estate investment trust. Okay, and that is a company called Vernado Realty. Okay. VNO is the ticker symbol. I didn't give you a ticker symbol for Verizon. Verizon is VZ, so that's pretty simple. But VNO is going for $31 a share. Okay, it pays $31 a share. It pays $53 or 53 cents per quarter per share. All right, so you're looking at a little bit over $2 a year per share. Okay. This is another pretty stable company. Real estate, as we know, is it's real estate. When it comes to the housing market, is volatile. All right, it's up high right now, and it's going to crash. Okay, but you also have commercial real estate. Okay, and this is what REITs like to deal in. Okay, is commercial real estate. This particular company owns properties in big cities, expensive properties. Like in New York, Chicago, or Los Angeles. So that, you're dealing with commercial properties where, the price of that is kind of, not going to vary that much. Okay. Number three is a stock. There's one that the tip that I gave you guys earlier, and that's
Ocean.
Global Ocean. Yes, sir. Like I said, Global Ocean. Global Ocean is being affected by the fuel, but the fuel prices are not going to stay that way. It's a quarterly dividend. Right now it's at $13.39 a share, and it's paying $2 per share per year, which is 50 cents a quarter. Okay. Last time, like I said, because of the oil prices, it was up to 90 cents, right, per share per quarter. Now it's 50 cents. That's still pretty good. Okay. And for $13 a share, that's very cheap. All right. We're not talking, thousands of dollars that you're spending on one share. You could buy 1,000 shares for thousands of dollars. All right. You see, so that's one to get into. And like I said, is what happens is each of these shares, hey, every quarter I got 1,000 shares. Guess what? Now I got $500 that quarter, and you just keep rolling that money over. See, so all right. So number four for me is a stock. It's over $100. So these people don't want to do Apple stocks for over 100, or not Amazon stocks for over $100. Okay, here's one for over $100 that pays a dividend. All right. So, and this is Duke Energy. Okay, Duke Energy is a power company. All right. Something to think about with these power companies is, as there's been a push over the last over a decade to shrink the carbon footprint, okay, and use less fossil fuels. Duke Energy is one of the companies that is looking into going into solar. So that's something to think about with any of these energy companies. That's, they're transitioning to try to, matter of fact, I was just reading about how they're looking at opening a solar farm down in Florida to supply certain areas. So that's a good thing. Okay, right now, like I said, this stock is $107, a little bit over $107, almost $108, but they pay $3.94 per year dividend, okay, per share. So that's almost $4. They pay 98 cents per share per quarter. Okay, so hey, like I said, let's say you want to buy 50. Okay, 50 of these, that's $50 per quarter, but you just keep rolling, right? It's a very stable company. It's been over 90 cents a share since 2008, 18, I'm sorry. And then over 70 cents a share since 2013. So Duke Energy, if you got a little money to spend, you can spend on that one. Number five is what you call a vice stock, okay? Gambling, tobacco, alcohol, that sort of thing. And this is a company called Altria, okay? It's a tobacco company, Altria. Ticker symbol is MO. Duke Energy was DUK by chance. DUK is that one. But this Altria is MO. $48.90, another one under $50, okay? $48.90, 94 cents, so almost $50. Pays $3.60 per share. That's 90 cents a quarter. Yeah. 90 cents a quarter, just like Global Ocean. It pays 90 cents a quarter. All right. You know, tobacco, a lot of people say, oh, but understand this is not just like cigarettes and cigars. It's also vaping. So, you know, that's kind of
all your vices.
Yeah, vaping, hookahs, all of that. See, so they're into all of that. And here's another thing about these tobacco companies, all right, to think about. Right now, cannabis stocks are taking a bath, all right? They're taking a hit. These tobacco companies, all right, sooner or later are going to go into the cannabis industry, all right, as it becomes more and more, accepted, and you know the laws change. See, so that's something to think about now while stocks are down. Because right now, like I said, is even if you buy some stuff now, okay, and it slides and you know it's starting to underperform and everything, just like I said, this is a marathon. This ain't a sprint, right? So, you know, right now the price index of the stock market is riding high. It's been that high for a while. You know, and what is the song Tom Jones saying? What goes up must come down. So, like I said, is all of these things are coming down, and this is the time when millionaires are made. Okay, is when stuff is down. See,
hey,
so
and just think about it, folks. Even with what Brother Leonard Walker is talking about, this is another stream of income right here. Okay, so your ability to sit there and have $2,000 coming in a month, or $2,000 coming, $3,000 coming in a month. That's where it starts right here. You know, so especially when you're young, you can sit there and be like, look, I'm gonna buy one of these every month. You know, or find one that you like, buy one of those stocks every month and build that so that 10 years later, you know, 20 years later, when you're looking at retirement or what have you, maybe you can even retire even earlier than my man Leonard right here in his 50s, retiring comfortably. So, you know, that's what this is all about. And that's why we bring this stuff to the table as we, you know, have our show, because we want you all to see and participate and be able to be a part of this stuff. We're trying to help people build wealth. So Leonard, brother, you
Leonard,
go ahead, John.
I got a couple of questions for you, Leonard.
Okay.
Try to make it quick. Two things I want to talk about real quick is that when we talk about dividends, we're talking about it has nothing to do with whether or not the stock is going up and down. When you invest in dividends, what it is you invested in is the equity of the stock that continues to pay you regardless of whether the stock go ups and down. So in other words, if it's 9%, 2% quarterly, you'll get that 2% based on your principal, regardless of whether the stock goes up or down. That's one thing. Number two is when it comes to investing in the dividends, how do you find the company's dividend opposed to growth? In other words, you can find the growth stock is one thing, but how do you find the dividend stocks and get inside of that dividend to where you can purchase some of those?
Well, like I said, is you just do your due diligence. I just researched on my own and started looking at different things. The easiest way, just like I said, is things that you buy normally, like Coca-Cola pays a dividend, McDonald's pays a dividend,
yes,
Verizon pays, AT&T pays a dividend. See, so it's a lot of these stocks out there that pay a dividend. You just got to look at them. You know, you can Google them and say, hey, you know, or just Google top 5, top 100, top 10 dividend stocks like that, and it'll break it down for you. You can use some of these apps too. Like I said, I use Webull. Some people use Robinhood. Some people use different things. And they're you know where they're set up, they'll show you Yahoo is a good one that shows you what the dividends are and all of the companies.
Yahoo Finance, yeah.
See, so like I said, is that's how you kind of do it. I mean, for the beginner, you know, just quickly for the beginner, let's just say, and these are common stocks, right? Let's just say, well, man, I don't know, you know what, you know, I can tell you one particular type of stock that will always pay a dividend, and that's an ETF, an exchange trade fund, right? Which an exchange trade fund, if you're a beginner, is good to start out with those, because what they do is instead of you buying one common stock or a REIT or something like that, what you're doing is buying a basket of stocks, you know, 500 different stocks of different companies. All right. They're typically cheaper. They pay a little dividend. They're more stable. They're not as flashy or sexy as some of these other stocks. But like I said, is you know, I got some stuff right now that pays me monthly. It's underperforming, but I'm gonna hold on to them. I'm thinking about buying, but it's got they own Apple, Microsoft, you know, Amazon, you know, all of these sexy stocks that you hear about and stuff, Google, you know, Alphabet, all of it. See, so, and you can buy all of that for a fraction of what one of those stocks cost, and it pays you to hold on. See, that's the thing, is these companies, the purpose of a dividend is these companies say, hey, listen, you know, I want to use your money, and to reward you for letting me use your money as capital, or just to hold it in the bank to show that I have solvency, I'm going to pay you a little bit every month or every quarter or whatever, just for letting me hold on and not selling this stock. So that's kind of the purpose of dividends.
And one of the things, the beauty of dividends is that it's called reinvesting your dividends. By taking your dividends, instead of pulling them out and go spending it, let it reinvest back into your principal. Your principal gets bigger and your dividend gets bigger, and it keeps rolling over, and it rolls over, it gets bigger and bigger. You look up 10, 20 years, you're sitting on $250,000 or something like that. So you just put it away and let it continue to grow.
What that's called in the beginning, when you invest, you're going to invest your own money, just like a savings account, right? You know, you're going to continuously put money in it. But what happens over time is, as your dividends grow and you get more dividends, you start to reinvest those dividends. That's what you call compounding your interest. There is no faster way of growing wealth than compounding your own interest. Because now you're playing with house money. That's like going to the casino and them giving you $1,000 to gamble with, and you're not coming out of your pocket with it. So whatever you
with the way a lot of these apps are set up now, you can set it to go ahead and reinvest and make that purchase. So you ain't even gotta deal with it anymore. You know what I mean? It just does it all on its own.
Easy peasy. You look up and say, oh, wait a minute, man. I'm up to 500. Now I'm up to 300. You know, and like I said, you get a bunch of these, right? You know, you get a good portfolio, about 5 to 10. And next thing you know, you got
this is a great way to create multiple incomes. Just put the money away, $100, $200, and just boom, it's working for you while you doing other stuff. That's a great opportunity.
And that's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. What John said, folks. That's the whole idea. It's about getting your money to work for you instead of you having to always work for money. That is the idea. So, you know, again, when we're young, we forget about that, and we go out here and we doing all type of stupid stuff. I've been guilty of it myself. And instead of thinking about the fact that, hey, we're going to get older one day, and we're supposed to be preparing ourselves for when we get older and want to retire, to have that liquid, accessible cash there. So with that being said,
they have to put away that weed bill, $100 every week.
Man, if some people did that,
that strip club bill,
man.
We're not going to talk about the hair and the nails, because that's just a permanent fixture. But you know, for us men, weed, strip club, hey, take a little bit of that money and put your shoe. Especially now, you have access. You don't have to walk into Charles Schwab or
you don't have to do that stuff no more.
That's right.
If you get, like I say, you got one of these. There's no reason why.
Anywhere in the world, and you making that dough. So brother, it's been amazing as always, man. I love the financial talk that we've been having this morning with different people, and you came and wrapped it up, brother. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Thank you for jumping on to the Tipping Point Morning Show. Peace. All right, now, folks, we're going to jump to commercials real quick. But right after commercials, we're coming back with our main event. Brother Kari Muhammad, he's got some fresh stuff he's dropping to us because, again, he went, he saw, and he conquered. And he's back to teach us a couple things, folks. So we'll talk about that here in a second, right here on the Tipping Point Morning Show. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, check out healthdaddywow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, healthdaddywow.net. Remember, healthdaddywow.net.
Thank you, Truth Be Told, for allowing God's Lives Matter to be a sponsor. Wearable Products, as the purple t-shirt, is bearing witness every life created by God has infinite value. Visit God'sLivesMatter.com.
I don't need to sit at your table. We building one. We in the process of building a table. We building a table. I don't gotta sit at your table. I'm building my own table, and I will build you a table in the presence of your enemies.
Habibi Trading Company, home of soap, sticks, and Saya Baba products. Over 400 locations at a store near you. Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, or find yours online at sayababa.com. Again, that's sayababa.com. Habibi Trading Company, where you can find fragrances to incite your senses.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
Folks, we are back right here with the Tipping Point Morning Show. And man, it has been fire so far. We've had two amazing guests come on and teach us some things about money, questions getting answered, and things getting explained. So, folks, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Right now, without further ado, I want to bring on our brother from another mother, one of our sponsors, just the same to the Tipping Point Morning Show. It is none other than Kari Muhammad. Family, how you doing this morning?
How you brothers doing, man?
Man, awesome, brother. How about yourself?
I'm excited to be here with you two brothers, man. It feels like a big family here.
Oh.
That's what I seen some of the family as well rocking with you this morning, coming and bringing you things and stuff like that in the backstage.
Yeah, let me introduce him real quick so I can this is the boss.
King there.
Yes, he's the boss of our company. Come on in here. I try to involve him in everything I do, so
that's right.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Majid. I'm the boss of Incredible. Look forward to our new products and brick and mortar.
There you go.
Hey, right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Love it, bro.
Yeah, so I try to involve him in everything we do because eventually, hopefully, he takes over this in a few years.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. I can say even when my dad had a company when I was younger, I wasn't thinking about taking it over. And I think that maybe if, I mean, I was involved in the labor,
Yes,
believe me. But on the other side of that, maybe if I was involved more with the financial part of it, and you know, even with just that right there, knowing about a brick and mortar coming and stuff like that, being able to speak to that maybe when Pops and them left, that instead of selling the business to a family friend, it would have been me taking it over, you know. So but that's something that's beautiful, bro. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Now you have one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on. You went out to this amazing conference. Can you speak to, you know, what that conference was and what was it about?
Yes, sir. So probably around December, I joined a group called Recession Proof, and Recession Proof is headed by a brother by the name of Marcus Barney, or it goes by him 500.
Him 500.
And basically, Recession Proof is it started off as just a credit repair community. That's what he basically was good at, is credit repair. And it turned into, from the credit repair, it turned into financial literacy. And the financial literacy part of it is, he was like, I can't just teach people credit repair. I have to teach them how to leverage their credit and how to really utilize it. And so now in that group, you can go in that group, you pay the one fee, and then that they have modules, and you can go in that group. You can learn the trucking industry, every aspect of the trucking industry. You can learn Turo, which is your independent car rental space. You can learn about Airbnb, but there's not just Airbnb. There's other companies that do that. You can start your own independent Airbnb if you build the systems behind it. They teach you how to do, of course, they teach real estate, day trading, but also in the real estate, it's not just homes. They also teach about acquiring, managing, and building your own storage facilities as real estate also. So there's a lot to that. They just started the e-commerce part, where I'll hopefully be a little more involved in that part of it. But the main reason and they also show you how to get funded. Your business is funded, how to start your business, scale your business, and fund your business. So that's what the Recession Proof group is pretty much about. And so every year he does a conference or convention, and this year was in Las Vegas. He doesn't charge for the ticket. You get in absolutely free. You just have to get there and have a place to stay. I mean, I saw brothers that got there, didn't have a place to stay, and they had brothers staying 3, 4, 5 in a room, because you're not in your room the whole day anyway. So it was a magnificent event.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna play the infomercial on this real quick, just so everybody kind of see real quick what we're talking about, and then I want to bring you back in to kind of give us some pointers of what you heard along the way.
Okay.
All right, hold on real quick. And there we go.
I've always wanted to be a businessman.
When you don't get that fear no more, it's over.
If our visions don't align, now is not the time.
When you believe abundance is there, then you get to see the abundance.
Y'all know the biggest way to kill a big dream is to introduce it to a small mind.
Every successful business is solving a problem. Fear always interrupts legacy.
I can't do nothing but teach. I'm sorry. I can't motivate. That ain't my system. Reset your butt. Reset your butt. Class in session.
So just looking at that, there were some heavy hitters there, and this wasn't about being flashy or anything like that. This was about knowledge, man. So give us some of that knowledge that you've heard, John. If you got some specific questions, and that's what's up.
Just hit me with some specifics, and we'll get into it, brothers. It's a lot. There's a lot that we could go over. I can give a lot of information, brothers, but Some things we'll be relearning, just that we may have already known. Some things we'll learn, that it's new stuff, Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So being there, how many days was this?
So it was a 2-day event. And it was all day, both days, up from about 8 o'clock in the morning to about 8 o'clock at night. And you're talking about 3,000 Black entrepreneurs. And there was a few others scattered here and there. But about 3,000 Black entrepreneurs. And I'm talking about brothers. I'm talking about some people that are doing $100,000 days, $1 million days, $10,000 days, $20,000 days. Some people that are there that are really doing some significant amounts of revenue and $1 million years. Not everybody's doing that. Some are doing $100,000 years, $1 million years, but they're independent. And I just had to be a part of that. So that it was a 2-day event.
So what was one of the if you had to say one of the most special moments that you experienced out there, what would it be?
I think one of the strongest moments that I experienced, and it's you really had to be there to experience it. And Magic Johnson was speaking. And he asked everybody to put both their hands in the air. And the reason he was asking that, he was telling everybody to put their phones down because he had something that he wanted to say. He said, what I want to say is to the brothers. He said, brothers, at the level I'm at, I don't see a lot of brothers around me at the level I'm at. He said, there's a few, but 95% of the people that are around me at this level have a wife. And they have a woman behind them. And he said, and the main part of your success, he said, the reason I want y'all to put y'all's phones down is because this is a conversation we got to have with each other. And he said, you can have your business plan. He said, but you need to go home and you need to explain to your wife, what is your plan? He said when he retired from the NBA, he told his wife, I got a 3-year plan. This is what I need you to do in that 3-year plan. This is what I'll be doing in that 3-year plan. This is what life is going to look like for our children during that 3 years. And they had a conversation about what that plan was going to be. He did his plan. His wife gave him the information as far as how she felt about that plan. They came together and they moved forward. And the reason I think that was so powerful, especially for myself, is because a lot of times we moving around, we might have a business plan. Some of us only have it in our brain. Some of us have it written down. But the people that we really need to support us and to give us the support that we need so that we can really execute, they have no idea what we're doing. They don't know how to support us for real. They don't know how to. We have to align their mindset with our mindset. And we have to understand if they're really willing to take that risk with you and really take that ride with you, because I say a lot of times, entrepreneurship is lonely. It can really be a lonely space. And I don't say that with a negative vibe. I just say that in a reality. You can have a lot of people around you, and entrepreneurship will have you still feeling like an individual because you got this vision that you're driven on. And I think one of the brothers said in there, you could tell a big idea to a small man and it'll kill it. A lot of times it's just a very lonely space to be in. So when he told us to put our phones down and spoke specifically to the brothers and talked about how to build your support group, that was the most powerful moment for me.
Absolutely. So, just out of curiosity, let's just talk before the fact. Why was it so important for you to make it down there and go to this event? Was this a consideration of an investment into yourself? Why was it so important for you to make this happen for yourself?
Mindset. It was strictly the mindset. I've invested in the program. I don't want to just do part of the program. I want to do the full program. Part of the program is going to this convention. And it was also exposure and access. When you think about the fact that you're going to have 3,000 like-minded entrepreneurs in a building in one facility for 2 days that you're going to have full access to communicate with, to build with, to form a mindset, to get an understanding of technology and how where they're growing and what they're doing and what you're doing, and being able to share it's so much different, so many different things. But even apart from that, it was important to be there because I knew that there would be like-minded people there, and mindset means like pretty much everything to me right now. And I'll even expand on it for this. I think I posted this on Facebook, but not only was it important for me to go, I made sure all my bills were paid. I paid all the way. I didn't pay for my flight up to about 2 days prior. Paid for the flight, paid for the hotel. When I landed in Vegas, I had $14 to my name when I got to Vegas. My hotel, everything was paid for. But as far as eating in Vegas, $14 won't get you far, right? And I mean, it was all investment. So when I told that story, I didn't tell the flip side of that. The flip side, I ended up with $1 because I had to eat. So I'm standing there with $1, but my people took care of me and whatnot. But the flip side of that is people, when you're invested completely in your business, see, I'm completely invested. I told that story. The flip side of that story I didn't tell is I got a $20,000 printer in my garage right now. I'm about to break out. So once I break that out, I'll be able to scale somewhat in my business. So it wasn't trying to tell a story of, oh, I'm broke and I need money. It was I invested in everything I could, all the way down to the point where I had $1 in my account. And I'm in another city, hundreds of miles away, and my wife had invested. She couldn't send anything. We had completely invested in making sure that we paid everything we needed. Like I said, I've got a printer right now that we're about to break out, and it'll be, we'll use it for many years. But the whole point of it was very important to be there, to be for the mindset.
That's dope, brother.
Listen, it's very interesting because when it comes to, the mindset and being in the midst of that energy, you can feel that energy. And if you're not resonating with that energy, in fact, it will make you leave that room. But listen, check this out, Kyrie. I've been knowing you for what? Maybe almost 20 years now, right?
A little over 20, yeah.
A little over 20 years.
Yeah.
And I've seen you grow. I really seen you really, I'm proud of you, from where, I've known you from where you are now. It's very interesting. So what is it exactly do your business do right now? Where are you at in business at this very moment with Incredible?
So right now with Incredible, we are a custom design and print company. And what we do is we are very simplified. We will design you something and we'll print it for you, whether it be t-shirt, short runs on posters, stickers, canvases, business signage, and we do business windows and signage also. It's a very simple process. The new product that my son was speaking on, we do have a process. We do have something now that we're working on in order to allow people, all you'll need in your home is a heat press, and it's a heat press that you just press down on a t-shirt. The printer that I'm speaking of allows me to print out high definition prints that come on sheets. I can send you 10 sheets, 1,000 sheets, however many, give you the information on how to order your own t-shirts at wholesale rates. You can press your own t-shirts, and we're talking about turning $30 into $300. We're talking about turning $300 into $3,000, and we could be able to ship those out to you. So that's something we're working on. I'm trying to get the logistics on making sure that people can get access to heat presses. We'll have a facility where if you don't have a heat press, you can come in and pay us like $20 an hour, and you can press shirts for an hour. So we're really trying to get people in business, especially people that have an LLC. Maybe you do something else, but you have a child in your home that's under 16. You can put that heat press in your home and have them print the shirts, press the shirts, or your merchandising, because you can do bags and all types of stuff with it. But they can press it, and then you can pay them, but also you can write off $12,000 on your taxes that you had for work that you had your children doing. So we're putting the infrastructure and the logistics behind that together. And I think that's really what we're going to pivot toward, is this product that will allow people to create revenue for themselves.
How long you been in business? When did you actually start your business?
We started Incredible in 2015. So it's been 7 years now.
So when you say you're just now pulling out the machine, are you saying you're just now getting to the business and really getting it started?
No, we've been printing t-shirts and posters or whatnot for those 7 years. It's been ups and downs. It's been left and right, but we have a new printer.
Gotcha.
That we're about to break out. But you buy the product. A lot of people buy the product and just get to work. This time I've learned enough through trial and error that I've got the printer. I have to build the infrastructure behind the printer so that I can make it effective, execute accurately.
Correct.
So that I can add value.
Yeah. Now tell me this. When you went to when you was at the meeting, surely while you was there, and whenever you're a business-minded person in any field, whether you are in the field of law, medicine, or whatever the case may be, whatever your interest is, when you are amongst those whom maybe been doing it longer than you, or been very successful at it, as sometimes we measure our success based on where we start and where we are. You have to measure it. There's a measuring stick we use. It's almost like measuring how much gas you got in your car, how much oil you need. You have to measure your success. Okay, well, if I started out this way, where am I at the next year, and how do I look? So when we're around people who are somewhat in the same alignment in thinking, we look at our measure, meaning where do we measure up, and that person and what that person telling us. So when you are there, and I know you're thinking of your own business while listening to someone saying something that resonates with you, what is it that you actually brought home that specifically catered to you as an individual and your particular business?
Got to scale. We've got to scale, but in order to scale, we have to get automated. There's so many systems that I need to put in place, and that's the key right there, systems. A lot of times, my time management, I'm bad at it. I'm good at it at times, but when we're able to put the systems behind it, that's the biggest thing I brought back, is because systems is, and whether you're going to have a website, a landing page, or a sales and marketing funnel, you have to make those decisions. As far as marketing, if you're going to be a company that's marketing, and I definitely want to get into that with you, with your incense, and also with Health Daddy Wow with his products, is having a sales funnel to where a person comes in, you're building your email list, you're getting your email list, they put in the information, and then it automatically sends them over to another sales funnel to offer a product. So, and I see someone asking whether it's systems or technology, and actually it's a little bit of both.
One and the same.
Yeah, it's not, I won't say systems and technology are one and the same. Sometimes it's a little different, but yes, a lot of systems do run off of technology.
Some systems need technology
in order to work.
Yep.
But also part of your systems is whether I'm going to get a virtual assistant or whether I'm going to have a secretary or somebody that does administrative work for me. Your system, when can I hire? If I'm going to hire, am I going to do the hiring myself, or I'm going to utilize another company to do that for me? And so when you talk about systems, it's really, am I going to have a virtual assistant that schedules my appointments, my schedules, that handles my sales calls and facilitate and fulfills my orders, or whatever those systems are? But we have to be able to do that. One system that I was utilizing early and didn't have a full understanding of was the automation part, where I can just tell someone to text ink to a certain number, and then it automatically sends them a link to my website or to my landing page or whatnot. And then once they hit that landing page, I have their information, and then they get open to a variety of products that I have, or whatever event I may have going on or whatnot. So There's so many systems out there to study and to learn about that we have to identify the ones that are going to work in our business, and that's what I'm currently doing now.
You know, one of the things I know that I kind of see is that when people start businesses, it sometimes it's based upon because they hear about it, like this conversation. Is it the new black? Is being an entrepreneur the new black? And a lot of people hear it, and a lot of people know who doesn't want freedom, who doesn't want financial freedom. Yeah. Who doesn't want being able to, that word, being your own boss? So those are some very attractive words that everyone kind of strive towards. But a lot of times that little light is a very small little light. Yeah. And right, if it ain't flamed, if you ain't putting wood on it and try to blow on it to make it bigger, it can go out very easily in this big old world. So I tell everyone, entrepreneurship is not easy. Starting your business is not easy. There are different scales and different levels to do this. And a lot of times, I see people going into business and they go in halfway. They really don't put full energy into the business. And when I say full energy, I mean full energy. A lot of times we don't see ourselves and act like we are in business. It's a behavior and a character first that you have about yourself and how you look at your business. Even with answering the phone and being able to be responsive, those things are characters that we build before we even start the business. I tell anyone to have a business plan is important, but not only a plan on paper, you must first have a business plan in your head. What the products you want to go out there, how you want to market it, how you going to sell that product, where you're going to get the product from. And I think a lot of people have good ideas, but another piece that they fail to do is have a mouthpiece to discuss and to talk about their business. No one's going to know if you don't talk about it. The third part of some people's business, when they start the business, they don't know how to price their business. They don't know how to price their service. I heard people, I had somebody come to do some work for me the other day, some special work. And at the end, I said, what I owe you. And he said, whatever you think it's worth. No, that ain't what you should say. And you should tell me what you're worth, because we need to have verbally what you're worth. And a lot of people are afraid to say what they're worth. Instead, they will almost do it like a favor, as a free, without saying, hey, man, I'm worth this, I'm worth that. And I think those are failures in certain people who trying to start a business that really do not have a mindset. And it sounds good, but they don't have a mindset. Why? Because they didn't have a plan in their head. Everyone should know their products. Everyone should know the price that you want for that product. And I know we always hear that someone do some work for you and they say, well, what do you think it's worth? That ain't business like. Yeah. Business like is you know what your value is, and you're going to express that value for what you want, for whatever it is, your service. And I say this to everyone as an entrepreneur. And this is a great book to digest. This is called The E-Myth. And this E-Myth is the E-Myth. The E is for entrepreneur. And why is it a myth? Because a lot of people got different understanding of what the word entrepreneur means and how it functions. A business person is one thing, an entrepreneur is another. An entrepreneur engulfs the concept of a business person. A business person can be just a person making trade. An entrepreneur is a visionary, a whole different ball game when you think about mindset. And that's why I say character plays a role when you have that certain mindset and starting the business. So definitely you had a product and you had a mindset about it is very important. How you scale it up is the technical part that we try to do. We make some sales and we make and package something, but we're at a certain level. How do you scale it up is the issue that we struggle with. How do we get that? I made $100 a day. How do we get that to a $200 a day, $300 to $400 to $1,000? How do we scale that business up is the key. And a lot of people have a certain product but don't know how to do two things: scale up, at the same time crunch down. When I say crunch down, I mean crunch your numbers of what it costs you to scale up.
Yeah.
Thirdly, and most important, people don't understand what is called acquisition costs. What do I mean when I say acquisition cost? It means the cost that it takes for you to bring in a customer.
Yeah.
That's your acquisition cost. Meaning, if you say you advertising and you spend $1,000 to advertise and you brought in 1,000 people, that means you spent $1 to get that person into your store, into your website, or whatever the case may be. And if you add it to the product and you minus that $1, that tells you how much that product you sold it for and your profit margin. A lot of people don't understand these simple paths and simple concepts about business, and they go in and they think, yeah. And I noticed in 1 year they didn't survive because most businesses fail in their first year of really doing it. And only 20% will make it this first year. But check this out. Only but 20% of those that will make it in the first year will make it in 5 years. So actually in 100 out of 100 business, only 4 will make it 5 years, right?
Yep.
This is why banks won't even talk to you unless you've been in business for 5 years. You're talking about a business loan for a bank for a business that already exists. The first thing they want to know is, have you been in business for 5 years? Why 5 years? Because if you can survive 5 years, 5 years would say that you have experienced all the ups and downs that a business will take and face in order to survive. That means now you have something, but you have to be actually running full-fledged for 5 years, not part-time, not half a time, full-time, full-fledged into the business for 5 years, showing it its profits, its losses, and it's surviving, right? And that determines that your business has some value to it. And remember, value is based upon what someone would pay for your product and your services.
Yeah. And going back to what I brought back, I want to say this because you brothers were a part of it last year, and I see the brother on here that brought the event. Last year when we had an event in Louisville that was called the Knowledge Fest, and it was very, very business structured. There was John Yah speaking, there was Brother Ben X speaking, there was Dr. Boyce Watkins speaking. You had a lot of people there, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because of the market that we're in Louisville, and the market. When we see the turnout for that event, we've got to change the market. We got to bring something new and fresh to the market, because this market is, I'm not going to say it's dead. It's very uneducated. We've got to educate our customer on our market. We don't have a lot of entrepreneurs that take the time to educate the customer, that take the time to say, this is my product, and this exactly what John Yah was saying. This is how it's going to add value to you. And doing what is called authoritative marketing is what I'm trying to work on now, to where I'm the authority in my industry in this market. I think that John Yah is the authority in his industry in this market. If I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong, but I do believe
I'm exactly that.
Yes.
So
we need the authorities. Yeah, the authorities in these industries, in this market, have to be able to express where the value is, how we're going to add value to, and people need to see us scale in these companies. And when the reason I brought that up, I see the brother on here, is because I thought that when I look at that event, the Knowledge Fest last year, and I look at the event that I went to this year, there was only 2 people from Louisville at that event. I met multiple people from DC, multiple people from Cincinnati, multiple people from Indianapolis, multiple people from Nashville, multiple people from St. Louis, all these cities around us, Columbus, Ohio. I'm actually in a Ohio chapter because the Kentucky doesn't have enough people in it. My whole point of what I'm saying is, we have people here in Louisville to try to bring this information and bring this knowledge to us here in this city. In the city, and it's not really to complain, oh, they won't get behind it. It's what do we have to do? What type of systems, what type of information do we need to put before people so that they do understand that we're adding value to them, or that we are bringing value. And so I'm getting out of a space where I'm blaming the customer, and more so, okay, what do I have to do to be able to make sure that they have access to what I'm providing?
Absolutely, man. You know, you're dropping a lot of knowledge in. I want to make sure I give a big shout out to everybody here. Health Daddy Wow, Layla, shout out to you, sis. Shout out Uncle Mishon. I also want to give a shout out to Janice Wakefield, Ahamara. This right here was actually, John, you were speaking to this most definitely as you were talking, and when I hear something like that, sometimes you never know how close you are to your success if you give up, and when we speak to that, then a lot of what you were saying, John, it definitely resonates. Shout out Latasha Harrison. Shout out El Patah, who again was one who brought the Knowledge Fest last year, and it was a dope event at the Muhammad Ali Center, and I'm hoping we get back to doing that, every year. But with that being said, I wanted to play something what you were talking about, Kari, real quick. The post that you did, if you don't mind, the post that you were talking about entrepreneurship being lonely. It says here, I'll bring this to the forefront real quick, and it says entrepreneurship is lonely, not in the sense of having people around, but having people around that get it. Until we have the proper systems and team, it's predominantly us on our own, making all the right decisions and blowing through funds we don't have to eventually get it right. Sometimes it's better to just check on us from time to time than to assume we're on a solo mission because we're greedy or don't care about our family and friends. I'm locked in. Incredible. That's what's up. We're going to play this real quick.
I didn't neglect my family, but I couldn't have both. If I was going to be here, I could not have stayed in Dallas, Texas. I couldn't have been up under my granny all day. I couldn't have been at everything I missed. I don't regret missing it because it got me to this point. But now that I'm at this point to where I can go back and make my own schedule, I have enough money to make time. Now I need to make the decision to make time. I need to fix that hurt.
And I feel like that goes into a lot when you're really chasing your purpose and walking in your purpose. There's so much sacrifice that comes along with that. My son's birthday is tomorrow. Those are sacrifices that you make when you're doing what God has called you to do. There are sacrifices that have to be made.
I remember when I first moved to Atlanta, I didn't have a bed for 6 months. I would cry to her. I would call her. I wasn't crying to her for help. I never asked her for money. I never asked her, I wasn't crying for her to be like, I need to move back. I just wanted support. Keep going. Even then, she was like, just come back home. She don't get it. If I would have went back to Pleasant Grove, I would have still been in her kitchen doing sew-ins. And I made good money. That just wasn't my purpose.
That's what I'm talking about. So, with everything that we're talking about here, we're definitely talking about purpose. I don't think that we could have this conversation without talking the idea of purpose. So, as we look at this, and let me give another shout out too. Last week we had on a part 2 with Heather Weatherspoon. She does classes, folks, and I will tell, I went to one of her classes this past Monday, and it was about business credit. The difference between a person having to be a personal guarantor on some of these credit stuff versus your business. And I mean, I took away several nuggets from what she spoke about. And this is some valuable stuff. That only cost me $99. Same as you. But imagine how many people won't spend that much money even to invest in themselves, But I mean, and that's an easy investment to learn some stuff that I didn't know, And that's about being able to make my business, my Dun and Bradstreet, numbers and all that stuff look good, so that it's easier down the road to get business credit and things of that nature. Why is it that when people apply for different business loans or what have you, they don't get it? They don't get it because of some of the things that, even here that she talked about that you don't have set up for your business. Like you were talking about earlier with having a personal assistant or a virtual assistant. The ability for a creditor to call and actually hear someone say, hello, this is incredible. How can I help you? You know what I mean? Things like that make a difference when you're trying to build things in your business. You're trying to expand. You want to get a loan, things of that nature. So as you look at this, brother, moving forward, what do you think that what you did, this investment that you made into yourself, will help you do, like one of the top things it'll help you do in moving forward? What has it helped you do?
It's going to help me in this market that I was just talking about. And it's not just about me. It's about the very people that I see that are in this circle right now that follow the tipping point. When I look at, and I see Help Daddy Wow, I see Sister Layla with the school. And that's a very, very, Louisville lost on that one. Lost on that.
Well, the cool thing about it, I think that with her going into the computer programming sect of it, she's bringing some of that back and turning that into something that she can teach just the same. So that's dope as well.
But I just, as far as this market, I just say Louisville lost on that because I had a brother hit me the other day. He's moving back to Louisville from Nashville, and he said, "Hey, brother, is there any black schools in Louisville?" And I look and I'm like, wow, she's not, I mean, no. You know what I mean? Not that they're gonna give you the proper curriculum. No. But anyway, I don't want to divert from the question. The question is, what am I gonna bring? I'm working on this market, brothers. The brothers that I've had access to for years, my mentors in this city, as far as brother John Yah, yourself, Patah, man, that brother changed a lot for me. As far as, we were at a party one time, a birthday party, and he talked to me about business credit. Probably about it was actually not long after one of my friends was murdered. We were talking business credit and trust and all of those things at that time. And so one of my mentors, Dr. Boyce, one of my mentors, I got a secret mentor that I can't mention just because the last time I mentioned it, it ended up turning into something else. But I'll say that there's a very significant rapper that's blown up over lately, that his mother's my mentor. But I've got Marcus Barney. But mentorship is something that's huge for not just entrepreneurs, but business, very successful people. Magic Johnson said he has a mentor. You got to get some mentors. And the reason I brought that one mentor that I have, she told me she wouldn't be my mentor until I went and got 3 more. And then I look at the people around me, I'm like, well, I have mentors. I have people that are around me that I can shoot ideas off of, that I can learn from, that are not going to tell me I'm right when I'm wrong, that are going to shoot straight with me. I have those type of people around me. I've worked with them. One of my business partner, Latasha Harrison, she shoots straight with me. She tell when I'm crazy. But mentorship is something that we need to bring into this market. And we got to stop telling people, well, you can't, making people feel bad about charging for information. I go out and pay $3,500 for a mentorship or for a coach. I'm going to charge you for the information. Brother John Yah can charge for that information, distribution, and learning how to package and market and brand and a product and create a product. Man, that all of that information, we got to package it and I don't want to say sell it, but people only appreciate what they pay for. So, so that's the thing, that we give it away and then they do whatever the hell they want to do with it. But if they pay for it, then they're invested and they got
when you got skin in the game.
Yeah, and that's really where it comes from. But I say, man, changing this market and increasing access, but really some entrepreneurs really need mentorships. And so, what are my goals? I got some specific companies that I really want to work with. I still want to work with the same circle I work with. I've got some very specific products I think are very good in this city. Some people that I would like to work with, changing this market. I'm not a mentor. That's not what I am, but I do know some people in the city that really have that ability to do so, that could really add value to some of these entrepreneurs in the city. And so for me, I would hope that those brothers would be willing to build curriculums, have webinars, start building some webinars and things that people pay for. And
hey, John.
Yeah, and create that one thing. If we can just record a webinar of Brother John Yah telling you how to develop a product and how to market it and how to scale it and how to distribute it, and we create that one product and we get paid for it forever. Record it one time, get paid for it forever. So that's really for this market. I've got a vision for this market and some people that I need to align with, and I've probably been working with them, but we just need to get a new focus, and that's really where I'm at. And when we speak on the black, is entrepreneurship the new black? It's not the new black. I think that the entrepreneurship, we're finding the new black leaders are coming out of entrepreneurship is what I really feel.
Absolutely.
I think that the new Malcolm X owns a company somewhere. And he's teaching that. I think the new Martin Luther King is an entrepreneur or a business person somewhere that owns a company with a product or a service that is able to teach that, because I always hear people talk about generational wealth. But in order to get the generational wealth, we got to have some transitional wealth. You ain't gonna get wealthy unless you're making other people rich. If you're not making other people rich, you'll never be wealthy. I promise you. Wealth is a spiritual result, and you can go broke, and you'll still have that wealth of this. So wealth. Why I say spiritual result is because disciplines, mindset, those are the spirituality part of wealth. So wealth to me is a spiritual result. The finances, you can get as rich as you want, but it's to get generational wealth, you have to have transitional wealth. You have to transition your riches to somebody else, add your value to somebody else. If you're not making millionaires, you won't be one. I promise you.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I like that point. When it comes to that information, when we say the words, entrepreneur, the new black, and you're right, the new Malcolm today is a business owner. That is because people beginning to understand and coming into the realm that the only way out of your condition is through some wealth, right? And the first wealth is knowledge of self. That's the first wealth. I like to say this about generational wealth. As an elder, as someone in their 60s, generational wealth to me is what I pass down mentally more than what I pass down monetarily, right? Because the mental understanding can supersede anything monetary. In other words, if you give me the proper knowledge, I can turn anything around me into wealth immediately. Just give me the proper understanding. It's very important. So you can take a person who is financially broke and you give them the proper information, and they will gravitate and bring wealth to them. Wealth meaning material things, not money. There's a difference. I teach that I don't envision money. I don't say that I'm going to be a millionaire. What I say basically is that I have a lifestyle that is comfortable for me. So then I start to envision the things that I want, those things that I am vibrating that carries the same signal or frequency is what those things is bring to me. Now, money will come to be the excess to the reason why I get those things, but never do I talk about, if you even read Rich and Poor Dad, not Rich and Poor Dad, but Think and Grow Rich. Money is not the discussion in Think and Grow Rich. You won't hear money. What you'll hear is ideals. What is it that you want? So if I ask a person what you want, don't say money. Don't do that. Say what it is you want, how you want your life to look. Where do you want to live? Do you want to live in a mansion? Do you want to live on a beach? Do you want to drive a Mercedes? Do you want to? That's when you start looking at how your life is. The money will come to get that lifestyle for you. It may have to make you a millionaire to get that lifestyle, but understand the lifestyle first of who you see, how you see yourself, elevate yourself. A lot of people have what I would like to call a poor self-image. The poor, a broke image. We have an image. If I ask, what do you think of yourself? Do you think of yourself? And listen, let me give you an example. I think I'm God. I think I'm the baddest motherfucker. To me, why should I not be? To me, even if I'm learned from a mentor, I'm the baddest motherfucker to even figure out that this motherfucker can tell me something. So how you elevate yourself, and you're gonna bring the right people around you. See, I don't mind being alone. Because my greatest ideal comes when I'm by my damn self, not with someone. And so when I have an ideal, like I own a patent, I'm a provisional patent owner. I have trademarks. The point is that these ideals didn't come from talking to anyone. These ideals sparked in my brain from nowhere. Now I may have talked to someone to help develop it, to help bring it into this dimension. But in order to really develop, you got to go inside yourself and listen. Every thought that any engineer or person who's a genius, their thoughts and their ideal came to them, it wasn't through talking to anyone. It wasn't through thinking about it. It was when they wasn't thinking, when that ideal popped into their head. And when that ideal popped into your head, then you use your frontal lobe of your brain and your subconscious brain to figure out what tools and items you need to bring that item into this existence. That's how it works. So, but interesting you said that, because listen, I just was writing stuff down. Brother, you said something, and I'm gonna tell you how you resonated with what I'm already thinking. I mean, it was just something I just began to talk about yesterday, and actually this morning even came to me. And you said something that I said, wow, that's what you call a frequency. Well, guess what? I am getting ready to start a consulting business, right? And what I'm getting ready to do, and this is what I ask the questions, because I believe in tangible things. If when I do this free. I'll let somebody come to me and tell me what they need, what they're trying to do, how they're trying to scale, and I give very great valuable information. So what I figured out was this, just what you said, was I'm gonna create a consulting company with a session, giving you a one-on-one session to where business startup, packaging, labeling. I'm gonna put you up on. I mean, I'm gonna point names and where you can go get this. Containers, price markup. I'm going to discuss with you product research, trademark, how to get a trademark without an attorney, right? Sales and distribution. Not only how do you sell a product, but how you distribute that product. Import and exporting, right? I'm gonna lay down some laws and give you some custom brokers to help search for a product, help bring a product into you. Marketing, branding. I'm gonna help you brand the product and give you the information about branding the product. Specifically cater to your specifics is what I want to do. How to scale your business up from where you are, and most important, how to know when to quit your job, right? So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to give an hour session one-on-one for $100 per session. Just what you said, because information is very important. And I think, like Sister Heather said, hey, if you come to me right. Other than that, I ain't giving you information free. If you come to me with your pencil and paper, because I got 21 years in this game, and I can tell you that I can improve. There's several people that I have improved their packaging free. Right? To tell them how to get the package, where to find the product, how to lower your cost. And so but here's the thing about me that I love, and here's what I scaled up my business. One of the things I learned was called salesman. And I read this book called The 1 Minute Salesperson. And this is really how I scaled my business. When you have a passion, first of all, find your passion, not the product. Find your passion first. You find your passion, that which you do willingly is the most happiest time of your life. Forget the money, just something you would do. So here's what I found out. When I was standing on the corner selling incense, and I started saying, how do I scale it up? And I began to wonder. I'm standing in front of a store right at 15th and Broadway. And I'm looking at that store and I'm saying, wow, I just made $150 standing out here for 2 hours. And I said, wow, how can I duplicate myself and make more of me? And I looked and I said, how can I get this store to sell my product? Well, guess what I figured out? I figured out what my passion was. My passion was helping you make money. Just this way. Check this out. If I give you information and you use it, I'm inspired by it, and yet you didn't give me a dime. That inspiration alone is the currency that I received from giving you that information. So I figured this out. In business, you got two things when you're a salesperson. Either you're selling to a customer or you're selling to another salesperson. That's two different types of sales. Selling to a customer, all you got to do is prove that the product works and it's going to make them feel good when they use it. That's number one. I don't care if it's a clothing or whatever the case may be. Does it make you feel good? That's what the customer, that's what the consumer wants. Selling to another business person or a salesperson, you have to let them know that they can make money from it, because that's why they in business. So I figured this out. How to go in this store and make their money was the key. So when I walked in, this is why when you see my products are in the impulse aisle up front, not in the back. I got countertop space. What I have learned to do was get free real estate, and I don't pay a dime for that real estate. Unlike Marlboros and Cools that pay for that wall, they pay $800-900 a wall for that space, whether they sell a cigarette or not. I don't even give any money for my 2 square feet of free real estate inside of that store, convenience store, right? How did I do it? Because I walked in and told that store how much money I can make him with my product. That's what he was interested in. I let him know how much it was going to cost him, how much it sells for, and how I would maintenance it. Boom, that was a done deal. So we got to understand that the passion is this. If I have a passion for seeing you do good, guess what? I'm going to do good. And every time, every person that I reach and I've changed their life, it changes my life. If I make you more money, guess what? That makes me more money. That's how residual energy works. If you ain't giving nothing, you ain't getting nothing. And this is reciprocal. Energy is reciprocal. It's a sharing thing, same as currency. All currency is just energy. I take a dollar bill and I turn it into something. I turn it into a thing, right? Because there's this book called The Energy of Money. Money is congealed energy. It's like you can melt it down and turn it into something else. See, it's just paper. I know people talk bad about the paper, but check this out. That U.S. currency is the #1 trading currency in the world. I use this currency and I take it to China and I buy products so cheap, and I bring it over here. I get 1,000% markup with the same currency. I send it over Taiwan, same thing. I bring it over here. I can now charge more money and create more currency to do more with, spend money over here, have a better life, go travel, based on understanding currency. So yes, glad you mentioned that, because that is going to be my actually next venture coming up by next week.
And I think it's dope just the same, because remember what you post in our little brother chat the other day, John.
Yeah,
man. I mean, he's that's alignment right there. He's right on. You know, we
talked about the other day. Joe and I and some other brothers talked about creating a business seminar here in Louisville. Have some guest speakers, 4-hour session, have some food and water, and take a break and come back, and you will be able to come and leave with some notes. Guaranteed.
Yep. That's where I'm at also. And love to hear what you all brothers have to say with that, and I'm gonna be your first customer also. As soon as you launch it, you're gonna see my payment come through, brother.
Don't play. I'm gonna be right there too.
Yes, sir.
Right in center.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Frank is did we have
Frank is here. I'm a Kari, if you got a couple seconds, we're gonna bring Frank on too.
Yeah.
And Adam right here. Frank, how you doing there, family?
Peace, brother.
Peace, brother. How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. I'm in revolutionary mode this morning. To respect to you all, I'm only gonna be able to say for a little bit. I know you all had a full lineup today.
Yep.
But I'll get open here in about 10 minutes. So
I think you had something specific that you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah, real quick. I'm kicked off Facebook. The excuse they gave me was, to make I don't even know where to start. And I have emotions about it, whether just go and delete the app, because I feel like I'm begging them to be on their app when they took me off of it for a reason that I don't agree with. They have showed no proof. In my opinion, let me start from the beginning real quick. A guy who run my Instagram said, Frank, if you do these reels on Facebook, REELS, then if you do so many or you get so many followers, they'll pay you. I don't know much about social media. That's why I let him handle that. I said, okay. So the first one I did was my Beast drink. It was just for my inside people. I woke up the next day. He called me, said, Unc, that's what he called me. He said, Unc, you went viral. He had like 80,000 views overnight. And I was like, wow. So I said, with that. So I decided to, only thing I did was just read off ingredients. And then people caught on. They think we don't know about health, but those 80,000 people heard those ingredients and said, you know what? I'm interested in that. And it was so overwhelming, I had to make a follow-up video because they was asking for it. So I'm not thinking, I'm a businessman. So I'm going to get it to you. So I did give out my website. I put it in the comment section because they just kept asking for it. So maybe I did violate the policy. I don't know. I'm just doing business. So this went on for about a couple months. I had like 2,000 followers. Last I checked, I had 18,000 followers. 18,000 in about 2 months. Next thing I know, I'm getting a message from Facebook. You violated some community guidelines. And hear what they said. Your post goes against, they ain't showed me what post. Your post goes against community standards on child sexual exploitation. Now, with no proof. Now, if you had said you violated community guidelines, you gave your website, you said something that cool. I can't fight against that. But you send me this, and I know damn well I ain't done nothing like that. So you shut me down without any explanation. I'm still waiting on them to give me to interview my account or look over my account or what have you, and then get back with me. I keep telling my man that I think it's because I reach so many people in such a short time. Them Yum Center numbers. I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but them Yum Center
and you did it without paying them. Yeah.
18,000 followers. But check this out. When I first started the first reel, where they showed me, it did like 200,000 views. But I've done like 60 after that. And they keep sending me things like this reel done 50,000. This reel done 100,000. So I had reached, a couple million people in a couple of weeks. So in my opinion, I think that's why this came about. Because I was reaching too many people. And to me, I think the people have spoken. They want to hear that. They want something different in life. And that's all I was giving them. I didn't say my product was better than what they doing or any of that. I just put up what I may have done wrong is I put up my bottle and I spoke on the let's say turmeric. I just said what turmeric does in nature. That's what I don't make these claims. You can look that up on Google and see what turmeric does. All I'm doing is just telling the people.
You must have been giving them ingredients on how to get rid of, without even knowing it, how to get rid of the C word.
We got some echo going on.
I was telling, okay, turmeric is an inflammation fighter. It helps out with skin health. Okay, could help out with aches and pains. That's something that turmeric does. That's how. I mean, what am I saying that you can't find when you go to your local health store? You can go to one of the big box stores. Who sells it? and you can look on the bottle and it says what it does. So what am I doing? Is what I'm thinking.
Hey, all I know is I'm about to go out and get some turmeric.
And see, that's what them 18,000 people was like, well, wait a minute, what is this?
Yeah.
And I think that's why, but my dude, to be fair and honest, he thinks that it was a mistake and they're going to eventually correct this thing. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. But the reason they gave kind of messed with me up here because I've been on the book all this time and I've never had any issues. And then they said I was a repeat offender. So he just thinks it's a mistake. They wouldn't do that. They love the attention that I'm giving them. And somebody just kind of maybe reported me on something. I don't know what's going on, fellas, but I just wanted to say these platforms, man, they can just shut us down without any explanation. If they want to make up something, they can. I know some people who have they claim they have their own network. You can say what you want to say. So I'm gonna start looking into them kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to get back on Facebook or not. I just have mixed emotions about it because I felt like all the people I brought to you, give me the benefit of the doubt. I don't.
And this is part of how you run, advertising with your business. So it's absolutely not fair.
Yeah. So the thing about Facebook though is they don't look at it as you brought them people. They look at it as
why are we hearing some serious echoes?
Yeah, there's a lot of it. I don't know why.
You got more.
I just muted.
Okay. Yeah, it stopped. It stopped.
I just muted Frank. It's okay. Something on that side. I'm not sure if he's got the show playing in the background or anything. But go ahead, Kyrie.
Yeah, the thing about Facebook is they don't look at it as Frank bringing them people. They look at it as them bringing him people. And so when you go from 2,000 people to 18,000 people, what they're looking at is, hold up, he did that without paying us anything, because they make their money off of people buying ads and buying, and having business pages and sponsorships and those types of things. So Brother Ben X has, if you go look at him, he explains in his digital real estate, he explains he's been at, you think that's a loss, he's been to where he's had 5 million people had over half billion views, and they taking his page down. And it's something they do. And the big thing about that is, earlier in this very conversation, I said I wanted to work with Health Daddy Wow. And so the thing that I'm explaining with Brother John Yah and also with you, when you talk about building your own network, yes, you can do that. You not necessarily build your own network, but you can definitely convert those people to Health Daddy Wow in building a marketing and sales funnel to where when those people give you their information, you can put those webinars and those recordings and those things you want to say, you can put those in a video and convert those to sales. I'm coming down there, brother, to talk to you anyway. I've got you on my mind and on my list. I think we can do great things. But yeah, that happens, brother. That's Facebook, man. They trying to make money. And if you ain't paying them and you getting that type of return, they want you to come spend a little bit of money, brother. That's what, that's what it is.
Well, basically, one of the things that he's doing it on his personal page, not his business page. Imagine if he had a business page where he was giving them some money to, like there's this piece about that you pay so much money to send out your video blasting, I guess, on Facebook. But you can also take that same content, like he was saying, and get those email addresses to as many people as you can download, and have what is called an email blast, so that you can send those reels or your products in a commercial style fashion to an email blast to all of your customers, and also get people to come and download into your website. Also, I think I mentioned to you that you can have your website converted to where you have videos on that website where people can actually come to your website and see your videos, you know, of your personal stuff. So it's ways to benefit from it. But here's the thing. Okay, so when we're talking about Facebook and this social media is not a right. It's only a privilege. They can take you down for any reason they want to take you down. One of the things I learned in fucking with Facebook was that I took out all my personal pictures. If you look at my pictures and now on my Facebook page, there is nothing personal, right? Because if my personal is tied up into Facebook, now they fucking with my emotions when they don't let me in. So I'd be like, I don't give a fuck now if you drop me. I got all my shit. You ain't got nothing of mine. Because what did I do? I removed my emotions from the shit, right? So everybody's got their emotions in Facebook. If you got all your family pictures and you're on there every day doing selfies and shit, your emotions tied up in that shit. Then when they say they cut your ass off for saying something stupid, then you're whining and wondering when you're getting back on. I said I wasn't doing that. So I'm not allowing fucking Facebook to control my emotions. So I took out all my shit, right? So now if you take me off, fuck it. I don't even care a fuck because you ain't got my shit anyway. But what I plan to do is that when I'm published is to use Facebook as a marketing plan for the publication and stay away from my verbal opinion. This is why you see my page, you don't see my business on my page. Why is that? Because if I put my business on my page, now I got to watch what I say, and it sounds like now I'm being controlled, and I don't like being controlled, right? So I separate the two. Business is one thing, but if I begin to say shit you don't like, and now you're not gonna buy my product. See, that's how we think. So I separate the two, and so now if I create a business page for Saya Baba, it's going to be separate from me. If I create a page for my book sales, that's going to be separate, right? So that stands alone, and I ain't on there saying personal shit to make them take it down. You see what I'm saying? Because when you get there, that's when the emotional comes in. So if I create a page just for business, everything in there is just for the sale of their business. My personal comment stays off. I get in trouble with Facebook with my personal comment. And so I don't like being citizen. I like being free to say what the fuck I feel without thinking, oh, you're going to beat me up or stop buying my products. But nevertheless, so it's really learning to maneuver. Now that you know you created that tool, now find a way around it. Go over here, because the white man ain't that fucking smart. Figure that shit out and then go over here on the side where you're not getting in trouble and pull that same revenue in and use that to collect people. Because if you got 18,000 people following you, if you got 18,000 people coming in, how many of those 18,000 people did you get their contact information? You see? So once you got their contact information, now you have an email blast. Boom, they're your customers for life. Companies pay just for information, for phone numbers and email addresses, just for they can send an email blast. So imagine if you done reached 18,000 people, how many of them 18,000 people did you get to grab? That's the opportunity. Because if it all disappears, baby, it all disappears. So next time you come back on, figure out a way you can snatch those 18,000 people's phone numbers, email addresses. So now you can solicit to them without fucking doing any commercial shit.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to systems and stuff like that. When it comes to this, like what Kari was saying, because even with if you look at down here on the banner there, you see a telephone number that you can text the word Inc. to for Kari's business. That's a system that he put in place when it comes to his business. And then I think Frank, just the same with what Yah was saying, having a business page, that's probably part of the shutdown or what have you, is they want you to do some of that stuff that you're doing on your business page versus your personal. Maybe, I don't know. Go ahead.
That is what they want. That is what they want, because when he has a business page that's attracting 18,000 people, now they can attract Coca-Cola, they can attract Wendy's, they can attract whoever they want.
Those commercials.
This guy's got 18,000 people that are going to watch. And every time somebody sees this reel, we'll interject that in there. So that's definitely what they want.
Y'all still getting that echo from me?
Yeah, a little bit, but we can hear you though.
I don't know. I have two business pages, and I was running those on my business page also. I started on my Frank Stoner page, but I moved it over to my business page. You understand what I'm saying? But the followers just kept coming to my Health Daily Wow page too. So I mean my Frank Stoner page.
Right.
So like as you said,
your last name is Stoner.
I have learned something from this. That's why I said, I'm just if I go back on, believe me, it's going to be a different story on this. So as if I do go back on there, I don't know, but it just kind of tripped me out. It was the reason that they gave, though, brothers. It was
I dealt with that as well with hate speech. They told me it was hate speech, and they shut me down for like a month. And I was like, dude, what are y'all talking about? And then when I tried to respond, they told me that because of the pandemic, they didn't have enough people.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've switched my page. If you go to my page, all you see is incredible stuff. I don't have any personal opinions or anything now.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't have any hiccups with it. I think what I generally do with mine, I'm looking for conversion rates. So I'm looking at the people that are really seeing my stuff. They have me ghost pretty much. Everybody can't see my stuff because I'm not paying. They know what I'm doing, but I'm looking for conversion rates. So I'm looking for that 5, 10, 15 people that always like, love, comment on my page. So the fewer people that I have, I'm happier. I don't want 100, 500 people because I can't service 100, 500 people where I'm at right now. So for me, I'm looking for that 10, 15, 20 people that are really rocking with me, building my email list, making sure they're getting all my email content, text messages, sales, whatever it is that I have going on. And that's what I'm doing with that because, to play that Facebook, Instagram game, you really have to have, you got to have it mapped out. And I don't want to have to figure their stuff out to figure mine out. I'd rather have mine figured out and then let them, utilize them just as what John Yacht says, a marketing plan, part of my marketing plan, but not all of my marketing plan. Because the one thing about the 18,000 right now is how many I do a realistic in view of how many of those 18,000 could I really service. If 18,000 of those people put an order in with me right now, could I service those 18,000 people within 5 to 7 business days? If I can't, I really probably only need about 100 to 200, 300 of them. So that's what I'm doing with my page right now.
Got you. So, I mean, fellas, and you know what, John, these are brothers right here that I love, like for reals. And I want to include y'all in on some of this business conversation as well. I know we all individually will talk business from time to time and stuff like that to each other, but in this little group text with brother Diego, I definitely want to bring y'all in on that because he's doing some things and the way he moves is dope. So definitely want to pull y'all in on that as well. Any last things as we move and try to bring this to a closure, John?
As we started this talking about, is it the new black? It's very important to understand when you mentioned that the new Malcolm X is a business owner. So everybody's problem is economics. And the only way you can get out of your problem, I don't care if it's racism, oppression, depression, whatever, it's economics, baby. You got to have money. And so you got to figure out a way to be able to make more money and live beneath your means so that you can have a surplus at the end of your week or your month, and you can do some other investments in other ways and create other income. Because here's the thing, if you go to a lecture and you just go to a lecture and you just left with a lot of camaraderie, how black you are, how this you are, and you don't have no ideas. That person didn't give you no ideas to how to generate wealth. You wasted your time. That's what I want to tell you. No matter how much culture you think you got, if you didn't get information that's going to teach you how to grab revenue. You wasted your time. So when I say about speakers and go to the speaker, I say, what is the substance? Is the substance just giving me a lot of historical talk about who my people were and where they really started at? Or are you going to give me some talk about how much money I can make and how I can generate money in this new world today, not the old world yesterday, you see, about this new technology world today? So we really have to pay attention of the information we're grabbing onto and what are you gravitating to. So, and again, you can go to all of that information and get all of that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's called poor righteous teachers. A lot of Negroes are teaching just that historical stuff, and it's going to just keep your ass poor. If it's not going to teach you how to generate wealth yourself, in my opinion, you're wasting your time, because the real issue is how you're going to get off your feet economically.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, you know, as it has been yet another great show, Kari, brother, it's been fantastic having you here. You know, I want to see more of you with us on the show. You know, we're gonna have to do some talking, you know, backstage and whatnot, and figure this thing out. Brother Frank, it's always good having you on anytime you drop through and drop something with us. So we absolutely appreciate you. Family, welcome, and we thank you for being here, tuning in yet another Saturday here on the Tipping Point Morning Show. We will see you all next week. Same place, same time. Peace.
Peace, brothers.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.